Welcome, everyone, to In the Spotlight. My guest tonight joined us last December on the Rosie and Bill show, and it didn't take us very long at all to realize she's as genuine and nice as she is talented. Please welcome to the show the pride of Bluefield, Virginia, Makenzie Phipps. Makenzie, welcome back and welcome to the Spotlight.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I very much appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you being here. And tonight, Makenzie, what I thought we would do is shine that spotlight on your new single. But before I get into that, I just want to say this has been a pretty amazing year for you thus far. And I'm going to touch on one or two other things. But let's jump right into your latest single, Pink Whitney, which I understand was inspired by a love-hate relationship. So what's that all about?
Yes, so Pink Whitney released September 13th, and I was so excited to get this song out there for everybody to listen to and to learn all about Miss Whitney. And for those that may not know her, they have her at every liquor store. It's about the drink Pink Whitney, and it is a pink lemonade New Amsterdam vodka for those that may have never tried her or ever heard of her. But I had so much fun writing the song, and I wrote the song like you were just now saying about a love-hate relationship because I love Whitney. She does not love me. And I just had so much fun, especially just on the creative side of songwriting and just kind of making Pink Whitney emulate a person. So I especially like when I was teasing people, I was like, I can't wait to share with y'all my friend Whitney, my dear friend Whitney. I'm going to talk about her and all this stuff. And I had so many people, it was piquing their interest. And they were like, who is this? What's this about? And I've gotten great feedback from it thus far. And for those that have never tried Pink Whitney, no sponsor. You got to go check her out for yourself and see how y'all's relationship is.
I think that, it sounds like a pretty good idea. I have to admit, I thought I had heard of it, but obviously after I listened to the song, I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me look into this a little further. And then I saw that it's a real thing. Now, one thing I noticed when I listened to it, I listened to it several times, is that I almost heard like a 90s feel to it. Is that by design?
Well, when I went in the studio and recorded Pink Whitney, I didn't really have a feel for what I wanted the music side of it to be. I, of course, had like a rough mix of when I created the song and I had the key in my head and I was just fiddling with it on my guitar. But as far as like when I went in the studio, I looked at my producer, Grady Saxman, and I was like, I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to let the professionals take over. You put your spin on it. Whatever you hear, go with it. And I put full trust in them. And I really liked the vibe that they went with. I think it kind of reminds me of like an American Honey, Lady Antebellum vibe mixed with like Fleetwood Mac Landslide vibe. And it definitely has some 90s feels with it. So I thought they did a great job. They were some insanely talented musicians and they killed it.
Oh, absolutely. And one last thing I have to ask about the song, because it sounds like, again, as you're listening to it, especially different parts of it, did you have as much fun recording that song as it sounds like you're having singing it?
I did. I had a lot of fun. And when I initially started writing the song, I was actually laying in bed about to go to sleep. And I was just laying there and I just started writing on it. And then I went to bed and I woke up the next day. And I think that was when I kind of finished the rest of it. And just the creative aspect of what goes on in a songwriter's head is different for everybody. So when I went into writing it, I was like, I'm going to put some play on words. I'm going to make a fun story and just pretend as if Pink Whitney was a person and how I would imagine them to be. And it was so much fun to get to record and to hear all of the other people involved, just their input on the song and everything like that. It means a lot to me for them to really like it as much as I enjoyed creating it.
Yeah, and that's that, and you kind of touched on it, but that's what I was going to ask as well, as far as the feedback, that you've heard thus far. It sounds like it's been pretty positive.
Yes, it's been growing in streaming numbers. Last time I checked, it was over 60,000. We may be over that now, but I haven't gotten to look at it quite yet. I've been a little busy. But just hearing from other people that have been listening to it, they've been very much enjoying it. They think it's fun and it's sassy and kind of just yeah, it's just like a
Yeah.
party song and that kind of thing. And maybe people out there will start to know more about Pink Whitney because it shocked me that a lot of people out there have never heard of it before. I did see more so in my age demographic people knowing it a little more outside of the 20-30 range. So maybe this song will just introduce people.
Yeah, introduce people, and I still think there could be a sponsorship or something in the offing there too. I can't think of a better way to put it out there than this song. And that brings me to another point. You just kind of talked about the process of writing it and working with the people that you worked with. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say something about the song that you released prior to Pink Whitney, which was "Pick Your Poison." I love that song, and I thought the video was phenomenal. And clearly, a lot of other people love it too, because I think your streaming numbers just on Spotify for that song are in excess of 500,000 last I saw. And hopefully, Pink Whitney gets there and then some. But as I listened to Pick Your Poison, as I listened to the new song, I wanted to ask you, Makenzie, how do you feel right now about where you are as a songwriter, as an artist? It sounds to me like you've really grown, and just each song you just keep getting better and better. But how are you feeling about all that?
Well, I thank you so much for that. It very much means a lot to me. And that's one thing that I did start putting my mind to goal wise when I moved to Nashville was I'm trying to figure out who Makenzie Phipps is. And, I've been in the game for a little bit. I started doing my own shows when I was 14. I wrote my first song when I was 14. We ain't even gonna talk about that. It was a 14-year-old song. But as I started, developing as an artist and working with other musicians that have been in the game for years and everything like that, and just singing various artist songs, really as I got older, understanding the lyrics more, understanding the creative process behind it and whatnot. When I moved to Nashville last year, that was a big thing for me was I really wanted to start diving into songwriting. And I've had a lot of fun doing it. Some days are better than others. Some may be a little discouraging, while others may be encouraging. And it's just one of those things where I had to learn you just got to take it day by day. I just kind of write whatever comes to my mind, and I do feel like I'm on a pretty good track as to kind of seeing where my songwriting ability and style land, as for lack of better words, I guess, just what area, what kind of feel my songs give off. And I'm one of those songwriters where I like to write not only just fun songs or whatever comes to my mind, but also I love to write more so on the serious topics that a lot of people out there may not think to write about. Like I really like to write about topics that some people out there may be going through every day and they can't turn to a song to help get them through it because not a lot of songs are written about said topics. So it's definitely an adventure and just taking it day by day and seeing what comes on in this noggin up there. But I've been having a lot of fun, and I think I am on the right path as to really figuring out who I am on the inside with my music and writing style.
Well, for what it's worth, from what I've seen and heard, and again, it was such a pleasure getting to know you and hear your story late last year and just kind of seeing that progression. You are definitely on the right track. And I think as an amateur songwriter myself, I know that there have been times when I kind of get into that writing mode and writing begets more writing. And then next thing you know, you're waking up in the middle of the night, you're getting more ideas. It's just a process, I think, of doing it as things come to mind, getting the voice memo function on your phone. If you're driving and something comes in, it's just the more you do it, the more you do it. It just kind of snowballs, I think. But more
Right.
importantly, I just think you're going in the right direction. And speaking of directions, I'm looking at your tour schedule, looking at some things that you have going on the rest of 2024. So, what does that look like for you moving forward in that direction?
Well, I'm still working on shows. I've still split my time between Virginia, West Virginia, and Tennessee, and closing out. Of course, holidays are coming up, so the tour schedule is kind of starting to come slowly to an end. But it's also nice to be able to focus on the holidays and focus on other things that you have in mind. My mind's constantly running. I'm like, okay, I have my internal goals, one of which with songwriting is I've been trying to write at least one song a month just to kind of give me a goal to look forward to and look towards moving forward, just to keep my mind going with songwriting. And then I am going to be starting my 2025 bookings and getting more out there with different venues. And I've had a lot of people give me suggestions of places around the Tennessee area, around the Virginia area that I may not have crossed yet. So I'm going to be looking into those. Like I did mention, holidays are coming up, so people can go stream Christmas Snow, which is currently out, if they're in the holiday spirit right now. I mean, it is September, but there's people out there playing Christmas music since July. But I do plan to be going back into the studio and working up a Christmas tune for everybody, just to get it out there for the holiday season. So I'm looking forward to that. This will be the first time I actually ever go into studio and record a cover of a song. Because I learned during the process of my Christmas songwriting that it's not for me. I am not Brenda Lee. I am not Mariah Carey. We got Christmas Snow, and that's the best we're getting. But as far as moving forward with the holidays, I may just, go into studio and just record a simple cover for everybody to check out and hear my version of. But I'm very excited to see what the Lord has in store for me in 2025, and just getting to connect with different interviewers like yourself, and getting to just talk a little bit about myself means the world to me, and meeting so many different people around the world and all of our paths meeting. So I'm just very excited for what the new year has to offer.
Well, so am I, Makenzie. I'll tell you, because like I said in the intro, you truly are genuine, nice, authentic. It comes through in a conversation. It comes through in your music. And I think as a songwriter and as an artist, when you're true to yourself and you're self-aware, just as you said a couple minutes ago, when it comes to writing Christmas songs, we have to know who we are and what we are and go with it. So I wish you all the best with what you have going on in 24, and even more luck in 25. And I thank you so much for joining me here in the Spotlight.
Yes, well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to speak with me. It's always a pleasure getting to talk with you, and I cannot wait to speak with you again in the future.
Well, I'm looking forward to that already too, because you already talked about some things for 2025. So we'll have to go for visit number 3. Absolutely.
Yes.
So, folks, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Can hear us scream, and I know after this fight you'll go to that bar across the street, and I'll be left here all alone thinking, what the hell did I do wrong? While you'll be dialing up that phone, calling that girl I've known about all along. And I'm sure that she's just one of a kind, the perfect girl for every guy. I bet you talk to her all night, and but if you come back home tonight, you may see hell at first sight. After that $100 whiskey at the door, flushed all them pills down the drain, you won't be feeling good no more. And I found your stash and lit it all over the floor. So when I pour that gasoline, hit it, run right out to the porch. Well, I see your car pulling right up in. You picked your poison. It's 2 in the morning, you're nowhere to be seen. You're probably back at her apartment, cozied up under the sheets. You know I put up with your games more times than I can truly count. So when you're finally through with me, I think she'll start to figure out that you may seem like you're one of a kind, the kind to walk her home at night. You'll give the picture perfect life, and after some years go right on by, she'll start to see the light behind those deep sapphire eyes. So after that You picked your poison.